Hi there, I'm Lizzie Brittleson. I'm 17 and a junior attending Winterset High School in Central Iowa. I plan on attending Iowa State University or Washington University in St. Louis to get my bachelor's degree. I'm currently undecided on my career path right now, but I am leaning towards a future in design, and I will be elaborating on the question, what can this document, the Declaration of Independence, tell us about life in 2008? Essentially, the Declaration of Independence tells us if we as a nation are on the path to continue being the nation that our founding fathers dreamt up in 1776. This American system included two important pillars spelled out in the Declaration: the natural rights of the people and the consent of the governed. Thomas Paine stated that the natural rights of any man are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, all of which are clearly proclaimed in the very beginning of the Declaration of Independence. Still today, in 2008, we're struggling to guarantee each of these rights. Abortion poses the right to potential life against the natural rights of an existing individual. Wrongful imprisonment is becoming a common occurrence due to denial of the Fifth Amendment, false testimonies, and a lack of DNA evidence in the courtrooms. By not allowing same-sex marriage, we are denying a significant portion of the American population this natural right. It appears that the United States may have a bit more work to do to continue down the intended course of the Declaration of Independence. In 2008, it seems most apparent that much of the public is more than a little dissatisfied with the war in Iraq, as well as how the government's been spending our money. There is some distrust in the government as well, as campaign promises appear to hold little truth. But if we look at the Declaration's 23 enumerated complaints, none of these current issues are really ever mentioned. The Declaration of Independence spells out exactly why we separated from England. Basically, King George was an incompetent leader who constantly abused his people, despite unrelenting efforts to resist his offenses. Ultimately, the government was failing the colonies. In 2008, we have a government system set up with checks and balances to prevent that from ever happening again. So, even though the general public isn't completely satisfied, we've really come a long way in regards to the consent of the governed. On that note, our natural rights aren't doing too bad either. Sure, there's plenty of room for improvement, but we have to remember to keep things in perspective. No nation is or ever will be perfect, and it's too much to ask of a government to please everyone. And yet, the Declaration of Independence still can act as a guiding light throughout 2008 and on into the future.